Welcome to the Golf Kingdom. It's going to be a great show to help your game. As always, we're going to start off with our blueprint so you know what's going on. We start off with the big three. It's the build it, segment, and pop culture followed by...
What are you doing? Is he powering it? Did you forget to charge him last night?
That was your job.
No, it's yours. No. We gotta fix this. Go. Go, go. We forgot to plug him in. Where's the power bank?
It's in the bag.
The bag. Okay, he's waking up. Get back to your spots. Back to your spots.
Yeah.
Finishing up the blueprint, we're going to have a new segment called the Book of Strano. Yes, Stranoisms, things I say to my players to help them with their game. And as always, we're going to close with a time to rise. Are you ready? Because it's time to build here in the Golf Kingdom.
Welcome to the #1 golf variety show in the world, the Golf Kingdom. Are you ready to build your game? Here's your host, Rob Strano.
Okay, as always, one of the big three to start the show is the Build It segment. Hard hat on, we got our tool belt, and we're going to be talking about how to fix your game using surgical tubing. Now, surgical tubing is important because it gives us resistance. So if we want to break the muscles apart and change your swing pattern, we got to do it with something other than just swinging the club. The club's about a pound, but we add tubing and resistance, and we can really affect a change. And I'm going to give you a couple little simple things to do with surgical tubing, which you can get anywhere at any surgical store, but you can get this as exercise tubing too, but we're going to use it to fix your golf swing. Let's go to the wide screen here, and we're going to talk about it. So tubing, I've put a little loop in it, which means it's got to be a reason that loop's in there, and that reason that loop is there is I'm going to put it through my shoe. So I put it through my lead foot shoe. I'm standing on it, so it's anchored. It's not going to go anywhere. Now, if your backswing goes back, and the typical error I see is the club sweeps behind you like this, that means your hands are doing this in the backswing. We don't want that movement early because it gets the club behind our hands and we're trapped, and that's no good. So we have to stress the hands, teach them a new movement. What we want to do is take the tubing, put it through your hand here, to the back of your hand, take it on your grip, and now I have tension. The tension's going to help me fix it. So we've trained this wrong move there. I don't want that. So now the old hands in, club out feeling, that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to go back, hands in, club out, right there. So the club is outside of my hands. I'm going to take my trail hand away. I'm going to start off doing it lead hand only, and I'm going to hold it here for a count of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got it right there. So I've trained this hand. Now I'm going to come back, take my grip. I'm going to take my lead hand off, put my trail hand on, and I'm going to come right back to that same spot. The club face matches my spine angle. The club's outside my hands. I'm going to hold it there for 10. Now, once I've done that, a couple sets of that, I'll put both hands on, take my grip, and I'm going to come back and hold it right there. And after all that, this tension gets hard to hold. I am stressing the muscles here. I am training them to do a new pattern. If you do this every day, you're going to train this new move really quick. Because you know what? When I drop the tubing, I go back, wham, I still feel like I've got the resistance, that the tubing is still being pulled by my hand. So no matter which hand I go to, I've got that same feeling right there. Now, the second thing we're going to train is backswing top. If I go back and I get low and I want to get my hands and arms up, I'm going to grab my tubing. I'm going to put it through my lead shoe, just like this, take my grip, and now I'm going to go back all the way to the top, and I'm going to say, I want to reach for the sky. I want to get my hands and arms up. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to hang on. I'm going to hold for a 10 count, and it's getting tough. There's a lot of resistance when I go all the way to the top, but I'm trying to get my hands and arms up more and not have them low. So I'm going to do it again, come down, go back, hands and arms up, stretch them up there and hold. I drop the tubing. Where do you think my hands and arms are going to go? They're going to go wham, up like that. So you do that every day with your tubing. You're going to train this new move, and you're going to get it quick. It's just like when you stood in the doorway as a kid and you pushed your hands and arms out as hard as you could, and you step out of the doorway and your arms fly up. Same thing with the tubing. You're going to train a new move and fix your swing just like that. It's our pop culture segment. Yes, fun stuff to help your game from movies, catchphrases, song lyrics. I'm not going to sing this time, but Obviously, we're going to do some drinking in this segment. I got myself a bottle of wine here. Actually, I have 2 bottles of wine. We are going to have some kind of fun in pop culture using wine bottles to help your game. So wine bottles, pop culture, what might be the pop culture thing? Well, you remember the famous phrase, the catchphrase, we will sell no wine before it's time? Well, this one is, don't release the club before it's time. If you're looking for more lag in your swing, grab a couple of wine bottles, and here's how we do it. So what you're going to do is grab your wine bottles, put them down, labels facing up, just like this. One in your lead hand, one in your trail hand. Labels facing up. We set up, and we're going to swing back to the top of our backswing. So go back, don't bang the bottles together. I get to the top of my backswing here, and the one in your trail hand, for me it's my right hand, I'm going to cock it at a 90-degree angle here to this one. So I start here, I go back, cock it at 90 degrees. Now, when I swing down, I'm going to hold this angle. So I'm going to come down, bang, I'm going to hold that angle. That's training that trail hand, just like we did with the surgical tubing and resistance. This is heavy. It's training that trail hand to lag that club coming down. What do most players do? You go back, you cock both wrists a lot, and you come down and you bang the bottles together right here. You come down and that right hand would bang against that bottle and we'd have wine all over the set. We're not doing that. So once again, keep the labels up. Go back, cock the wrist, come down to right here. So we're doing it to there now. Right there, we're going to come through, bang, line the labels up. So 2 different ways to do it. Both of the ways go back. We cock that trail one. We come down to add more lag there. We got it. Now we go back, cock that wrist, come down, line up both labels, don't clang the bottles. 2 drills, 2 bottles of wine. This will help you get better impact, getting it lined up and getting it more lagged as you come in. And you will not release the club before it's time. All right, it's that time. There you go, you got it from me. It's a kiss. That means it's got to be keep it simple Strano, something simple to help your game. And we're going to talk chipping and short game. And this is a simple way to get your setup correct. Most players, when they chip the ball, they just take a smaller setup of their full swing version. And that's not what we do to chip the ball. What you've got to understand, a golf club, there's more forgiveness out of the toe than the heel. The heel will dig. So we want to keep the heel out of this shot. How do you keep it simple Strano and set up to avoid the heel digging? If you watch me do it, I'm going to do it without thinking. I'm going to set up to chip a golf ball right here. I'm going to set up, and when I put the club in, I automatically put it like this. You don't see me put it like this. So here's full swing. Hands are down, club's down. You can see how low that is. That'd be kind of my full swing setup for 7-iron or 8-iron or 9-iron. If I'm going to chip, I'll automatically walk in and do this. Why do I put the club up like that? Because I get it up on the toe so the heel won't dig. When you're practicing, and I do this with players in lessons all the time, I will put the club down that way, I'll hold it there, and I'll make them come in and set up. And they do it, and they set up perfectly normal all the time. They're up tall, the club is up, and this club won't dig into the ground. It'll come up and down just like that, and the toe will skip through the ground. As you practice your short game, get in the habit of when it's a chip shot time, put that club up on the toe, get the heel off the ground, and now keep it at this angle and set up. And your chipping will get a lot better and just like the kiss, keep it simple Strano, you'll keep your chipping simple too. Now, stay tuned. We got more great stuff coming up here in the Golf Kingdom, including the new segment, the Book of Strano, and a Rob's Right coming back faster than one swing and one putt. Are you a little bit in the dark with your golf game? Well, I got something cool for you. Watch this. Alexa, open Golf Kingdom.
Welcome to Golf Kingdom. Here's your golf tip of the day.
Welcome to the Golf Kingdom. I am your host, Rob Strano, and here is today's pro pointer. Alexa, stop. If you want more pro pointers from me, enable your Amazon skill on your Alexa device. And every day you get a free tip from me just by simply asking to open Golf Kingdom. Welcome back to the Golf Kingdom. Are y'all in there? Everybody awake? Guess what? It's time for one of my favorite segments. It is this one.
Rob is right.
That's right. Rob's right. I'm right. I love being right. This is where I talk about something that happened in a lesson with that guy that'll help your game. Let me explain what was going on. So we're doing a lesson, and he tells me he's been hitting behind the ball a lot lately. And so I watch him hit a few shots, and I go, okay, here's what I'm noticing. He is setting up to the golf ball, and he's not putting his club right behind the ball. He's got it back here. So remember, this is a measuring stick. We're trying to get this real fine motor movement to where I'm going to contact the ball first. So I got to get the club behind the ball, and I got to get the right distance from the ball so I don't back off of it or reach for it. So he had the club way back here and was coming down and hitting the ground right here and hitting it fat. And I said, hey, just a thought. What if we got the club behind the ball, right behind it, where it looks like you're almost going to touch it? Maybe, just maybe we clean up this impact, you know, like something really easy to do instead of thinking something technical. Move the club from here to here, and you know what happened? He hit it better. And he looked at me and he goes, gosh, you were right. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm right. So if you're hitting it fat, look at where the club is. If it's too far behind the ball, get it right up behind there, and then you won't be the one saying this to me.
Rob is right.
I love hearing it, but I love it better when you hit the ball good. I'm a Nabisco, Ale Cristo. It is the Book of Strano. Yes, we have the Book of Stranoisms here, things that I say in lessons. And today we will be in the second Book of Strano, and we'll be talking about this Stranoism. I say speed in a small space a lot in lessons. So what does speed in a small space mean? I see a lot of players try to make speed in a large space, which looks like this. They swing back, and immediately they're trying to make speed back here. You can hear this whooshing way back here. So they try to make speed all the way from here through there. And what happens is they aren't making speed in a small space like a tour player does. By the time you throw speed on it here, you've got nothing down here. The Book of Strano, the book says, I need speed in a small space. The small space is the area right before the ball. Why do tour player swings look really smooth? Because all you see is the smooth backswing, the smooth transition, and then from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, this waist-high to waist-high position is so fast you can't see it. It's a blur. But that's the speed in a small space, and then we coast to a finish, and you see all this smoothness. What you don't notice is what the book says, speed in a small space, right here. Practice speed right here in a small space. If you can turn on your speed right here, that's what allows little guys to hit it farther than big guys. It drives my big guys crazy when I hit a 7-iron 20 yards farther than them, but they know they could pick me up and throw me up in that tree any second. Keep in mind, I know what they don't know, and what I teach them is we can't try to muscle it from here because then we got nothing down here. We want speed right here in a small space, and the way to do it is grab an alignment stick, take a golf club, turn it upside down, and practice being fast here and fast over here in these small spaces, and you'll find you'll hit it farther. This has been a reading from the Book of Strano. Well, let's talk about flying the golf ball, and it's our Invest in Your Game segment. We're going to talk about investing in clubs that maybe help you hit the driver better. And this is brought to you by Bayview Private Wealth. So investing in clubs. I've got the new Callaway driver here. New clubs will help your game. Now the question is, are you hitting drivers that might look like this still? Look at these antiques. Look at, they got the scoring lines dug into the persimmon heads. Look at the next one. We've got this beautiful club face with the red insert. Look at the deep scoring lines in there. So why did we have scoring lines in drivers back then? You know why? Because irons did. But here's what we've learned with the new technology, the new driver faces. We've learned that, check this out, the scoring lines aren't important. We don't need spin to make the driver fly. We need launch. So this driver, it doesn't have any deep lines or scoring lines in the face. It doesn't have any grooves. It's got a hot sweet spot right here. We're trying to get the club to hit the ball and launch it. So the ball is already up on a tee. I don't need to make it spin to go. It's already up. I need this thing to launch. Now, what do good launch numbers look like is the question. Check this image out. Here's what you've got. Good spin numbers on a launch monitor with a driver like this will make this trajectory look very flattish, where the ball's not spinning. It does have a very shallow angle of entry to the ground again here, and it's going to hit and roll. If you have a misfit driver, or say you're hitting down on it, or you still got grooves in your face, you're going to have this vertical launch and the steep angle of descent right here, and you're losing lots of yardage. So invest in your game. Maybe get a Callaway fitting from me, or find a Callaway fitter next to you, and find out that investing in a driver that's fit for you will help you hit the ball better. And this has been a great segment brought to you by our friends at Bayview Private Wealth. Now stay tuned. We got some more great stuff coming here in the Golf Kingdom to help your game. To help your golf game, download the Golf Kingdom app. To help your golf game, download the Golf Kingdom app. To help your golf game, download the Golf Kingdom app. To help your golf game, download the Golf Kingdom app. It will help your game. Download the Golf Kingdom app. Go to the App Store. Go to the App Store. Download the Golf Kingdom app. Download the app now to help your game. Thank you for entering the Golf Matrix with me, where we look at the numbers of golf. Some things to help your game or help you understand more about the game and the swing. Run this video here. Look at this guy. This is my swing from back in the summer. And I just want you to see what it looks like, because we're going to take a deeper dive into it here in a minute. But look at this swing. Nice big turn going back, come down, lined up at impact, released, solid shot, big high finish. Not too bad. I don't like the look of that. I don't dislike the look of that swing. Whoa, look at this. Who is this robot-y looking thing? Well, you know what? It's me. So look at it. Just started to move right there. See that where it stopped? Now we're going to look at these numbers. If you look at the numbers right here, you see that my pelvis is turned, but not as much as my shoulders. That's what the backswing should start like. I don't want the backswing to be a spin of the hips like this. This black side shouldn't spin out to where the pelvis number is bigger than the shoulder number. You want the pelvis number, like you see here, to be less than the shoulders. The shoulders and arms lead the backswing going back, not the spinning of the hips. We get the hips going, we get out of sequence, and it really messes us up, because the hips have stopped turning, and we're like right here. We got all the swing to take, and these have got to wait. And they don't want to wait, and that's when we get jumpy coming down. So run to the next stop point here. So we're going to run on to the next stop point, and you're going to see we stop right here with the left arm parallel to the ground, or the lead arm parallel to the ground, and you can still see my hips have turned, or my shoulders have turned more than my hips. So very important that they stay in that relationship as they go back, because at the top of the swing, run it again to the top. So watch me go to the top of my backswing here. And I'm going to get to the top of the swing as it goes back, and you're going to see, wow, my shoulders have turned 91 degrees. My hips are still in the 30s and the mid 40s, so pretty good values there. So big shoulder turn, hips are nice and tight, because the backswing is a fight going back. I'm not just spinning going back. The backswing isn't just, wee, let's turn going back. This part is fighting this part as I go back. I'm trying to stay solid here. 35, 40 degrees of hip turn, maybe 45 if I need it, but I want to get as much crank out of those shoulders as I can. Now, start that video, take it down to the next stop point. So as it comes down, it's going to come down, and you're going to see as I get left arm parallel to the ground here, lead arm parallel to the ground, my hips have almost come back to zero. They're in the low teens. Now we're going to hit play again, and we're going to come down to impact, just past impact, and you're going to see the hips are opening more, the shoulders are opening, and now run it through to the finish, and you're going to see a big finish out of me there. I turn all the way through, nice big finish. So this new Sportsbox AI software that we're using, it's super cool. You take a face-on video of yourself, and it converts it to these data points and this Rob bot, I'm calling him, that shows me how I'm moving and helps me get these pieces moving in the right order. get them moving in the right order, and it helps you find the middle of the club more often. Well, what's interesting is how your body sets up to do stuff, especially in putting. And I'm a big time proponent of correct setup in putting to help make sure that the ball rolls correctly towards the hole on the line you want it to go to, and you make more putts. Here's a common error I see, and it's going to be our putting service announcement. I want you to check this at home. And if you have a tile floor at home with grout lines, this is super easy to do. What I've done here is I've just set up our Bubba Whips alignment stick pointed right square at the camera. And I've got the ball at the end of it. Here's what I want you to check to make sure you're set up correctly. The mistake I see players do in putting is they set up and they point their belt buckle and their buttons at the ball. So now they're twisted crooked. You end up twisted open and twisted that way. Get your grout floor line. Put a stick down. Anything where you got square lines. Get set up, and I want your zipper and your buttons on your shirt to point behind the ball. So if you see as I line this up, this is pointed, my buttons are pointed behind the ball. The zipper of my pants are pointed behind the ball. If I'm square and the ball is up here in front of my left eye towards the logo on my shirt, these body parts right here, or these parts of my clothes, should point behind the ball, not at it. The big error in putting is set up open or turned this way. Get yourself square or at least closed feeling, and this putter will start to move on plane on track, and you'll roll it better. Simple putting service announcement checkup. Get these pieces pointed correctly, oriented to your target line on the ball, and see if it doesn't help you make more putts. Oh, that was too much. Hey, welcome to the Golf Kingdom kitchen. I was just kind of cleaning up things here, and you know, if we're in the kitchen, we're cooking up something good to help your game. So let's talk about, I got a couple things here. I don't need that, whatever that's for, but I need a spatula. So spatula, how can, when you're cooking with a spatula, how can that help your game, specifically help your impact? I've had a lot of players lately that I've gotten them on the launch monitor and look at their data. They come in and this thing is twisting a lot as it's coming to the ball. So they're coming to the ball, this is twisting a lot, and the ball's launching off all kinds of crazy directions, and our launch monitor data is just off the charts. I'm seeing club faces that are closed 16, 20 degrees, and the ball's curving forever right to left. Here's what I'm telling them to do at home when it's snowy or rainy, or maybe you get home late and you got to cook dinner but you can't get to the golf course. Grab your spatula like it's a golf club, and you're going to set up, and what I want you to do is take a backswing and come down and get your cabinet out in front of you right here. I want you to come down and smack your cabinet with the end of the spatula, just like this. You wouldn't smack the cabinet by coming down and twisting it and hitting it with the sharp edge. You wouldn't come down and do this. I want you to come down, smack it like that. So you got your cabinet out in front of you. You're taking your backswing, coming down, smack it, boom, like that. Instead of coming down and twisting it toward the spatula is looking up at you like you're gonna flip a burger up in your head. You wanna come down and smack it that way. Practice this. You don't have to be at the golf course to improve your game. You can be in your golf kingdom or your kitchen doing it. But grab your spatula, come down, smack that cabinet, and watch those big curving shots straighten out. It's hard to believe, but it's time to rise. And it's the last thing we talk about on the show. And it's always one of the most fun things I get to think about to share with you. And this one's about one word and one word only. It's not a big word like existential. It's a small word. And this is what it is. It's the word cause. And it's not your cause as in your charitable cause. It's the cause of what is causing you to not go after your dreams? There's a good question. What is causing you to not get out there and get after it? I grew up at St. Clair Country Club, and our mentors there was Bob Golby. Now, Mr. Golby lived next to the 10th hole, and here's the 10th hole, and there's a little arrow there. And that little arrow represents the fence he used to climb over to sneak on to practice in the evenings. So he'd sneak on there, he'd play a few holes, and sneak back over the fence. He didn't let anything keep him from practicing the game. He didn't have a thing that was like, well, cause I'm not a member there, I can't do that, or cause this, cause that. No, he snuck in, practiced, and pretty soon became a member and went on to be a Masters champion. Here's my challenge. Don't let something cause you to not go get it. Decide what you've got to do. How do you have to set things up to go and get what you want in life? Your big dreams, whatever it is. Start off, take one step at a time, but go after the thing that's causing you to not go. And go and get something that you've always dreamed to do. Well, that was a lot of fun in the Golf Kingdom, and we used all kinds of stuff to help your game. Let's review the 3 things I want you to remember in our Strand Notes segment. Right off the bat, pop culture, I said grab 2 wine bottles. Use those to lag the club and deliver it correctly at impact. After that, we went to the Book of Strano, and I talked about speed in a small space. Yes, create your speed in a small space, not all the way from the top of the backswing to the top of the finish. Then, in our putting service announcement, I mentioned how to get squared setup. And if you got square by getting your zipper on your shirt or your buttons on your shirt and the zipper on your pants pointed the right direction, you'll probably set up correct and hit better putts. Now, for more in the Golf Kingdom, be sure to download the Golf Kingdom app. Yes, go to the App Store, type in the Golf Kingdom, and you get the free app to help your game. There's a daily feed from me, your host, Rob Strano there. There's all the shows, the clips are set up, there's discounts for you, all kinds of cool stuff. As always, jump on social media, Facebook, Instagram. We are on those platforms with all kinds of other little fun stuff from behind the scenes here in the Golf Kingdom. You don't want to miss any of that. Thanks again for joining me here to build your game in the Golf Kingdom. Because it's time to build here in the Golf Kingdom. Energy up now. 1.